Here I am at the Butler Institute of American Art for the Allied Artists' 109th annual exhibition, which is a special thing at this at the Butler Institute, which is a beautiful, beautiful museum, where the award winners and the board members are the work that is displayed here at the at this show. So I'm going to give you a little quick walkthrough of it, and we can look at everything because it really, really is a very beautiful show. And you just have to come see it in person if you possibly can. It will be here through October 9th. And you can see it in person and go up close and personal with each one of the pieces. So I'm going to flip things around. And whoops, wait a minute. I need to put on my glasses before I flip things around because otherwise I might accidentally finish. Here we go. Okay, so it's in the upstairs exhibit space, which means that this is where the rotating exhibits happen. And it's the Allied Artists of America 109th Annual Juried Exhibition. The piece that gets the spotlight right under the sign is award winner Matthew Bird, with who won the Mary Bryan Memorial Medal. I'm not going to read what the different awards are, but all of them are either award winners or board members. And this one is called Chesapeake Pride. It is a watercolor, and wow, he won a watercolor award. But it's pretty amazing and delicious. All right, let's start on this wall right here. We have this little beauty of a sculpture who won the sculpture award, Carrie Barnes, for Lost and Found. And this is it's a glass reflection kind of a piece that is really amazing. You have to kind of go around it. It's very three-dimensional, but it's on the wall, but it's a sculpture. And it's all with lights going through the glass. Bob Palovitz has this beautiful still life. Look how crunchy those flowers are. Crunchy is one of my words that I like to use for watercolor or for oil paint. That just has its thickness, where it acknowledges that it's made out of paint. It doesn't pretend it isn't made out of paint. Christine DeBari. This is her beautiful landscape. It is called Rooftops. And it looks to me like Monhegan Island or something like that, but maybe it isn't. I'm not sure. This one right here is Michael Gabriel, who happens to be a board member and an award winner. But sadly, we are in a super reflection-y place, and I don't have a person with a big black piece of foam core behind me. So we are going to get to see. This is when you have to see in person. It's really beautiful up close and personal. All right, then we have award winner Patton Wilson, Night Moves. This is a gorgeous still life with this beautiful little crystal ball with a reflection on it. And these gorgeous lemons piled up. And the flowers have one of the things that my husband likes to call a little bit of a tragic beauty. They're not quite yet at the tragic beauty phase, but they're starting to droop, and that just makes them that much more interesting. Then we have a sculpture right here, Douglas Aja, Dionysus. Now, isn't that an interesting name for a sculpture of an elephant? But possibly that's what they named this actual elephant, and look how gorgeous this sculpture is. Cast in bronze and beautiful. Then we have Lee Albin, whose work I've seen all over the place. In fact, he just judged the Art of the Heartland show down in Arkansas at the Mena Gallery for the Southwest Artists, and I'm happy to say that 2 of my pieces were accepted to that show. Oh, I'm getting too close, and the automatic sign person is telling me to back up a little bit. But Lee Albin won this wonderful award for Nicole, Skill, and Grace. And it's gorgeous. Then we have another award winner, Robin Antar, for her sculpture, Horseback Riding Out West. So this is really, really cool. It's bronze, I believe, but let me see what it actually, oh, it doesn't say what the medium is. It maybe, you know what? It looks like it might be carved out of marble. Isn't that amazing? And it's a cowboy boot, but it's carved out of marble. Beautiful. Then we have Gary Irby, who is the master of trompe-l'oeil. Okay, this is not something he painted on a piece of cardboard. This is a trompe-l'oeil, which means trick of the eye in French, where he painted it to look like it was painted on a piece of cardboard, and you could see the striations for the corrugated cardboard, but it's not. And you can see the wrinkles in the paper because it was sloppily glued onto it. But it wasn't. It's all painted. You can see this little piece that's peeling up, and you want to just like peel it and see what's under it. But it's not. It's tricking you. It's an amazing, amazing piece. And I love that it's framed so fancy to let you know for sure that this is an amazing trompe-l'oeil. It's not a sloppy piece of corrugated cardboard with a bunch of stuff stuck to it. It's really gorgeous. Then we have Arturo Garcia's Love History. So this is a delicate beauty. He really has done a gorgeous thing with the way that he has painted this smooth marble-like mythological woman. Then we have board member Lucille Beryl Paulson for Sunshine, which this is just sweetness in the best possible way. I don't know if this is somebody she's related to, because it certainly seems like there's a lot of love in this painting, and it's beautifully painted too. I'm going to zoom back in again so you can just see how beautifully painted it is. Gorgeous. All right, we're going to stick with this section of the room before we go to the next one. All right, here we have John Bellardo's Theater Dionysus. And isn't that interesting that we've got the elephant Dionysus and then we've got the theater Dionysus, which is, Dionysus is the god of liquor and drinking and celebration and bacchanal and stuff like that. Oops, there's mine in the background, but we'll get to that in a few minutes. Then we have Lou Riccio Vintage Car Show. And I have huge respect for anybody that can paint a car. I cannot paint a car. I don't even want to. It seems so daunting for me, but this Lou has done a gorgeous job. I'm sorry, Lou? Yes, Lou. Gorgeous job. Beautiful. All right, we'll skip over here. This is a lovely pastel, Jason Chang. And wow. Now there is glass, so that's why you can see a little bit of me and a little bit of the rest of the show. But maybe you can get an idea of how gorgeous and luscious these grapes are. My God. They are just pluckable and super delicious. Have to see it in person because there's reflections. Here's another one with reflections, but maybe the reflections aren't quite so bad. Martin Levine, award winner, Catching the 515. This is a beautiful, it's an award for graphics. So I'm assuming that maybe it is graphite or charcoal, but wow, beautiful. Then, same concept, but completely different handling. We have Susan Weintraub, who, this is called McDonald Avenue Trestle. And this is one of the ones Max Ginsberg talked about when I interviewed him, and I asked him what some of his favorite works were in the show, and this is one of the ones he specifically mentioned. It's got a beautiful urban feel to it, and it's done with a lot of crunchiness and mixed media. Watercolor is what it is, actually. I don't know if there's other things in there because it has a feel of more complexity and heaviness than watercolor does, but maybe she achieved all that with watercolor. We've got Barbara Groff's The Brush Bouquet. And how cool is that? She's got these beautiful, and this is a pastel. So we've got these brushes that she has just rendered to perfection. And it's kind of interesting that she's done brushes in pastel. It's the irony of doing maybe pastels using brushes. Then we have Rob Gregoretti's Untitled. This, it reminds me of Turner. It's a teeny, tiny, tiny Turner-like piece. It just has that gorgeous glow on the, like a fire on the water. It's really, really quite stunning. And just so you know, many of these pieces are for sale. You go on the Allied website and you find out the name of the artist and you just contact them. So the Butler doesn't take a percentage. Allied Artist doesn't take a percentage. You deal directly with the artist. And that's the way that the artist makes the best amount of money from selling something, is by selling it directly. And it's very generous of the Butler and Allied Artists to not choose to take a commission. This painting right here, award winner Manu Saluja, it's called Wisdom. And this is a gorgeous face. She has just painted such a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful face, and all the details. There's this, I don't even want to say ethereal, because it's not ethereal, but it's, and I'm not going to say soft either. That's not the right word either. I'm going to think of the better adjective, where it's just gorgeously painted with, and it's not crunchy, but it definitely acknowledges humanity and the grittiness of life. It's grittiness with softness, I guess, maybe. Grittiness with a, and it's called, is it called respect? No, it's called wisdom. But respect is the word in the background. And I don't know my New York subway stops, so I don't know if there's a New York subway stop where the word respect is back there, or if that was a fabrication. But like things like this, where the highlights and that sort of gritty shine on the tile contrasted with her beautifully painted face. It's really just a beautiful painting. I'm gonna say that's one of my top several in this show. Russell Mackinson, A Cherry on Top. And this is gorgeous. It's a pastel. Now this one, to me, definitely has the thickness of an oil painting, but it's a pastel. And then right below it, we have this humble, beautiful, tiny gem of a piece by Gabriela Gonzalez Deloso, who is the president of Allied Artists. And she's got a major piece in the collection of the Butler, which I've done a different special where I featured that one, or I kicked it off with that one. So this one is just this tiny little masterpiece that she put in there, and it's gorgeous. Then we have Brenda Bechtel, Terrace Oasis, and this is a watercolor. So to me, this is like this is why watercolor exists, with the reflections and the doing the wicker of the chair like that, and then these leaves, and then the light on the leaves, and then the light between the leaves, and then the light and the shadow cast by the leaves, all that. It's the best possible use of watercolor. Really beautiful. This one you may remember if you are a living figuratively aficionado. You may remember that I actually have a Mitsura Salgyan in my collection that I gave my husband for birthday. This is another one by Mitsura, who used to be the Allied Artist president. Now she is president emeritus, I believe, or presidential advisor is her official title. And she does these amazing, she's got this, you can't even grasp how tiny and amazing this little guy is that she puts into all hers. All her paintings have this little guy in them. And then she's got these leaves, and then the striations on the leaves, and then the wrinkles, and the light on the leaves, and then the grapes, and they're gorgeous. And then here's this bird, and oh my goodness. And then this little fantasy creature. They have a surreal, super real, amazing, otherworldly, just delicious, keep on looking for details and keep on getting satisfied quality to them. So that's Mitsura's work, which is, and what's this one called? It is called Winter Slumber. It's beautiful. Then let's come to this big, gigantic, very impressive award winner piece. I'm gonna have to go close to find out who the painter is because I have not memorized everything. This is Zimu Tan, Valley of Dry Bones. And I do not know what the history is of the Valley of Dry Bones. To me, it has a definite biblical feel to it. Maybe there's something in the Bible that I haven't read that I don't know. There might be some mythology to this. It is gorgeous and impressive, and it brings up a lot of questions, and it's gorgeous. So, all right, now what we're gonna do, let's see, have I covered everything? Oh, I did not cover these guys. These are beautiful here too. We've got Thomas Valenti, Parks, Fruits, and Vegetables. And he is a board member and an award winner. And we've got this amazing little city scene. And fortunately, the reflections are not too bad here behind the glass. And then above here, we've got Jenny Lynn, catalog chair, and she's a board member also. And this is a pastel. When you get up close, you can definitely see it's a pastel. When you're far away, you're seeing tomatoes, and those are pretty amazing tomatoes. All right, let's see. So we've covered everything in this half of the show. I'm going to start on this wall in the other half of the show. Right here we have Alyssa Pristock's sunflowers, which are pastels. And now she's got a crunchy pastel quality. It's very pastellarly, very painterly pastel. Beautiful, beautiful work. Then we have mine, which I'm in here as a board member, not as an award winner, but I used the opportunity that was given to me to put one of my pro-choice paintings into a part of Ohio that definitely needs pro-choice paintings. The Youngstown area is a very conservative area, and for the few people in the Youngstown area that might pop into the museum, I want them to see this and think about women's rights and how we do not want to go back to the Dark Ages. My body, my decision. She's in the Michelangelo's David pose, and I have many other videos all about this, but I just want to put this, show you it right here. Then, right next to that, we have Anjali Gauld's Bowerbirds Baubles, which it has this amazing abstract quality to it, but it's not an abstract, it's stuff. When you start digging in there and looking closer, it's a bucket of antiques and nature things and baubles, and it's a really beautiful watercolor piece, mixed media piece. So I see there's a little bit of collage in it, and watercolor and collage, and really beautiful. Then we have Max Ginsberg's Foreclosure. So Max Ginsberg won the Audrey Love Award at this Allied Artists Show, which is the second biggest prize. And this piece is amazingly beautiful, very poignant. He talks all about it on the interview that I did with him. Max Ginsberg is a social realist, which means he uses contemporary people in his paintings to illustrate social justice, paintings that illustrate social justice. And so watch that interview. I'll link to it at the end, and you'll see what he's all about. Then we have over here next to Max's, we have Yuka Imata's Presence, which is also an award winner. She's a board member and an award winner. And this is just beautifully done. I've seen her oil paintings. I've never seen her graphite drawings, but this one, it's just a beauty. Really beautiful. Moving right along, we have board member Elisa Fauer, Struck by Lightning. And this one is pastel and pencil. And sorry about the reflections. Here's my hand. I'm going to bring it down so it doesn't distract, but it's beautifully done. Like the bones, just gorgeous. And the teeth, really a lovely piece. Next to that, we have Dean Mitchell's St. Augustine Light. It's a gorgeous watercolor that won the top award at the Butler show, which is the Butler Institute of American Art Purchase Prize, which means that this painting will be purchased from the artist and placed into the Butler collection. So I hope they have it out and have it out for a long time, because this painting is a beauty. At the end of this show, I'm going to link to the interview I did with Dean Mitchell, also at the opening reception. And he has a lot of amazing insights about all his work, about this, little bit about this piece, but a lot about his social messages and what he tries to accomplish with his work, because he is also a major portrait painter. He won the gold medal from the Portrait Society of America just like a couple years ago, before COVID. And so, yeah, definitely watch that at the end. Now we'll come to Lori Savastano Oldacher, Yankee Fans at Federal Hall, and it's a watercolor. And this is another intricate, intimate, crazy watercolor. Like, look at the throngs of humanity here. It's really, she just did a beautiful job in this. You know, the giant sculpture and all that dwarfs the people. That's I'm sure the way it really is. But it's a big statement. I like it. Right above it, we have Joyce Hanson's First Snow, which is a pastel. And I would have said, oh, this is a watercolor, and look how she's kept the whites white, but it's actually a pastel, which just goes to show you don't know. This is beautiful work. First Snow. Then we have board member Beata Spurza, Pineapples, Osage, Oranges, watercolor. And now this is a different kind of watercolor. It has it has a definite abstract quality to it. It's real, but it has an expressiveness to it and a decorative watercolor quality to it. And I love that it's a square. The square it makes it stylish and beautiful. This is really a gorgeous piece. All right. There's the other show that's going on, but I can't focus on that. I'm going to focus on Allied Artists, but you do have to come here to see everything. Plan to spend several hours. All right, now we come to Alex Ting's painting, which is called Defy the Gods. All right, this is based on Cupid and Psyche. Now, I did not, because this is a pop-up living figuratively, I did not reach out to Alex to have her explain it. So I'm going to just tell you a little bit of something It may be completely off base, but I'm going to tell you real quick the Cupid and Psyche story, which I actually, it's something that I've been kicking around in my Goddess project just to see how I can handle it. The whole Cupid and Psyche story was Psyche was a beautiful mortal woman, which is how all my Goddess project stories start. I'm going to zoom around here so you can see the beautiful details while I'm blabbing. Psyche was a beautiful mortal woman who a lot of people thought was beautiful, and they started worshiping her. Venus, the goddess, got jealous. All these goddesses get jealous. So she sicked her son Cupid, with the arrows, on Psyche and said, hey, make her fall in love with some kind of a horrible beast, because Cupid's arrows make you fall in love with somebody horrible. So Cupid did that, but then he accidentally, instead of getting her with it, he got himself with it, and he fell in love with her. So then they started having this wonderful little affair, and all this stuff. But Venus didn't like it, and so she put all these obstacles there to make Psyche get screwed up and make her die and tortured and stuff like that. Ultimately, I'm going to give you a spoiler alert. Ultimately, Cupid and Psyche do end up together, and they have fun, and they have a beautiful relationship. And there's a lot of paintings of that. But this particular painting, I believe, would be from the part where Psyche is having an affair with Cupid, but she doesn't know who he is. And so he's this hidden guy who sneaks away every morning. Ultimately, Psyche falls in love with him, just like he's fallen in love with her. It's a complex goddess thing, but I love how Alex Ting has done this painting, and I will reach out to her and find out what her take on it is. But she's got this glow, like the light glows. Beautiful painting. Then we have Vince Nardoni, this is called Shore Drip. And this, I believe, is the only other abstract piece in the show besides the glass sculpture that was at the very, very beginning. In fact, the artist who did the glass sculpture, when she was asked at the end of her interview what her favorite piece was, she said it was this one, the other abstract piece in the show. And it's gorgeous. I think, it's encaustic, which is a melting wax kind of a technique. Now we have this one, Chantel Van Irby, and she is the vice president, Kim in Chroma, and this is a mixed media piece. And I see all kinds of texture and crunchiness, and it's mixed media, so I'm not sure what all the media are, but it is really a beautiful, fanciful, decorative, kind of a haunting piece. We've got this broken or spider webby kind of thing going on down here. And oh my, and there's one of those masks, which hopefully is collecting dust, and people aren't going to be going back to wearing masks because we won't have to go back to wearing masks. Let's hope that. So this next one by Nadia Kilansky, Lightness of Being. Lightness of Being. I wonder if there's a connection to the book Unbearable Lightness of Being, which the whole thing, the unbearable lightness of being, is where it's heavy. It's very heavy to be the only one that has a lot of sadness in an area and a place where everybody else is happy and light. That's part of the whole thing. Her painting just seems like this is a glowing, glitteringly gorgeous place to be. Like you just want to be there. You want to be sitting there. Maybe not about to be fishing or camping, but that sky is just gorgeous. Beautifully done. Now, we've got this crazy piece by Steve Schuring, Tastes of Home. And I'm just going to zoom around here so you can just see every single thing that Steve has painted in this amazing, there's fried eggs and all the hams and the peanut chews and the cans and the Fifth Avenue bars and the pickled eggs and the sauerkraut. It's an amazingly beautiful. When I saw it, I said, you're insane. But it's just gorgeous. It's a gorgeous painting. I'm going to zoom back so you can get a sense for how big it is. It's probably a 48 by 48, and it's a beauty. Next one over, we have Mike Rower's Mercer Street, NYC. And he's taken the sunshine, like a sunny day, with the shadows and the diagonals in the windows and the nooks and the reflections of this the grate up there. It's really just an amazing glowing piece. Next one over, we have Wendy Caporal, who is one of the Portrait Society greats. She's been in the face-off many times. She is a renowned, wonderful portrait painter. And she has painted fellow artist, portrait sculptor, Rhoda Sherbell. Rhoda Sherbell had a show here at the Butler. This was more than several years ago, where she brought gigantic, gorgeous bronze sculptures, and it was an amazingly beautiful show. And she's an iconic person. I'm not sure how old she is, but I'm hoping she's still doing well and still healthy and vibrant, and hopefully this was a recently painted piece, because this is how she looked, I'm going to say 10 years ago, and hopefully she still looks this way. She's gorgeous and vibrant and inspirational, and I think that Wendy Caporal has really captured Rhoda's beautiful sculpting prowess. I mean, look at the hands, the working hands. Beautiful piece. Okay, here we go. We've got Annie Pat. Consider the lobster. I like that. Consider the lobster. Just consider the lobster. Now, I'm a big fat hypocrite because we had some gorgeous, wonderful, delicious lobsters last night that we bought live, and we've, steamed them up. So I'm a big old hypocrite, but I do consider lobster as a really good thing to eat. Next one down, Erhu Zhang, The Old Town. And this is a watercolor. Has a lovely, not too much color gray day, but in all that not too much color, there's a lot of color. It's not a black and white piece. It's not monochromatic. It's using every single possible permutation of the lack of color. Any possible way to put color into a scene that doesn't have color. It's seeing color where others might not. It's really a gorgeous piece. Sorry about the reflections again. It's behind glass, so this is why you have to come see it in person. All right. Let's see. What have we not seen? Oh, here we go. He brooks between shadows and light. And this is just a sweet little oil painting. And you're sucked right into it. I feel like I'm on a boat and I'm about to row there, and I maybe shouldn't because I might get stuck because it's kind of shallow there. Gorgeous piece. All right, we've got a sculpture in the middle of the room. Sculpture right here. Miklos Sebek, and he's a board member and an award winner. And this is a beauty. It's a beauty. It's one of the few abstracts in this show, but it has a figurative feel to it. It's called Propagation. Gorgeous. Then, there we go. We've got award winner Henrietta Maneva, the Kent Day, Duomo di Milano. So this is a Duomo. I know the Duomo in Florence. I've seen it and I love it. There's one in Milano. I never went to Milano aside from going to the train station to go to Florence. But this is beautiful. It's a watercolor with a lot of like the ink drawing on top of it. It's a lovely way to handle it. Underneath it, Deanne Procia, a beautiful graphic piece. And I feel like this view is an iconic New York view. In fact, the very few times I've been in somebody's apartment in New York and we look out the window, I feel like this is what we see. Maybe there's a lot of these in New York, but it just has that iconic New York feel to it. And it's really beautiful, beautiful work. All right, let's see. You know what? I'm going to finish up with this. How nicely it all worked out. I'm going to finish up with this little beauty, Chris Krupinski. It's a Friday Night. So this is a watercolor too. All right. Right. I'm going to zoom in and come out. What could that be? What could that be? It's the top of a beer. It's the foamy beer. And then we've got this ridiculous, amazing popcorn. Oh my gosh. And then this glow on the side of the bowl, and the foreshortening of the bottle. This is a really beauty of a piece. And it is an award winner, Jane Peterson Memorial Award. And, oh, look, there's mine in the background. Remember pro-choice? And I'm going to finish up right here. Let me flip it around. I'll give you a little look at me, see if I still look okay. All right, here we go. Okay, so thank you. Thank you for joining me for this special edition Pop-Up Living Figuratively. Come see the Allied Artists Show. It will be here till October 9th, and after that it won't be here anymore at the Butler. But we're hoping that years moving forward, there's going to be more Allied Artists shows at the Butler Museum because it's right here in Ohio in my backyard. Not super backyard, hour and a half from my backyard. But definitely come see it. And thank you for joining me for Living Figuratively. Thank you for watching this pop up. And thank you. And I will see you next time I decide to pop up.